Hi, everyone. It's Wednesday. Welcome to Wind Down Wednesday. Super excited for tonight's topic, which is I think everyone needs this stuff right now. So we'll get started in just about 30 seconds. So grab whatever you need. Grab a notebook. Grab a notebook because we're going to share ideas tonight. We'll see you back here in about 30 seconds. All right, everyone. So my computer is acting a little bit funny. So if you are watching this and you can hear me, give me a comment so I know that it's not just me. My computer is doing something wild. Isn't that funny? Like it always, I don't know. It just always does that. But super excited to be with y'all tonight because we're talking about something super duper important, which is, again, I know a lot of us are like right in the midst of like heading back into the classroom, or perhaps this week we're doing professional learning and all the meetings, or we're getting everything prepped and ready. Or maybe you still have a few weeks and it's still good. But either way, we all are getting ready to launch. And tonight's topic is all about like that first event, like that first interaction where we bring everybody into the school and we have that like back to school night, or the meet the teacher night, or the open house night, or the popsicles with the principals, or paletas with the principal, all of those things. So there's a whole lot that we could talk about tonight. But yeah, there's just so much. There's just so much. What are the things that we need to have ready to go? What are the vibes that we want to create? That first interaction, no pressure or anything, but it's kind of a big deal, right? That first interaction is huge and so important. So to have this conversation, I got to bring on our bestie, you guys, our colleague, Rachel. How are you, Rachel?
Well, oh, having the internet issues
Is
tonight,
it
you
just my
know.
sound? Try it again. Testing, testing.
Ooh, ooh.
I don't think I can hear you. Can you hear me? Oh no. Oh,
Yes,
you can hear me.
you
I
can
can't
hear
hear
me?
you. I think it's just my computer. Isn't that wild? All right. This is going to be funny. I wonder. Hmm. Okay. She's going to try again. She's going to try again. Okay. Well, I do want to share a few different resources with y'all as we get started. Number one, you want to think about the vibe, right? If you are bringing folks into the schoolhouse, you want to make sure that everyone's feeling good, feeling happy, excited to be there, and that they leave feeling a certain way, right? We want everyone who comes into the school for that first interaction, we want everyone to feel excited. We want everyone to feel energized. We want everyone to feel like, you know what, my kid's going to be taken care of here. My child is going to be shining here. And this teacher really cares. This teacher really cares about my child, about our family, and we're going to have a good year. So I have to tell y'all, I love talking to groups. I really, really love talking to groups. But sometimes I am really awkward with small talk. I don't know. I don't know. Is anyone else like that? Like you get in front of a group and you're good, or you get in front of your class and you're like all set. But like the one-on-one interactions, you guys, I am like the most awkward human being. And then I walk away and I'm like, why did I just say that? Like I was at a district yesterday. No, I don't know what day it is. Yesterday. And like somebody introduced me to somebody and he goes, oh, his name is Javier. And my first reaction to this poor young man Instead of like, oh, hi, it's nice to meet you. I said, oh, I have a hobby in my life. It's my nephew, and I just love my nephew, and we call him Hobby. And then I walked away from that, and I'm like, why did I just say that? That was such an old lady thing to say. Like I could see, like, like my own kids would be like, oh my gosh, absolutely horrified. So I don't know why I did that. So again, I'm kind of a really awkward person when it comes to like those small exchanges. And there's like when we have those back to school teacher nights, it's like full of a lot of small exchanges. So I get really nervous and anxious for those nights. Rachel, can I hear you now?
Can you hear me?
No, I still can't hear you. Friends, if y'all are watching, can you hear Rachel? Am I just being my computer?
No, nothing.
Oh no. Yeah, I know, Rachel, you and I were texting about internet stuff. I don't know. I don't know if I can't hear you. See, okay. Our viewers can't hear you either.
Dang.
Oh, wait. Michelle said yes. Oh my goodness. Okay.
Can you hear me? Yes? No?
Okay, so she's on her phone now. It's still kind of glitching. All right. All right. Do you want to try one more time? And if it doesn't, sorry, y'all. Oh my goodness. It very well could be just my computer, you guys. Truly, truly. I'm like checking all my little things. Oh, wait. Real tech. Yeah, I think you guys don't hear music playing, do you? I think my son is upstairs playing music, and I think my phone is somehow connected to that. Or not my phone, my computer. Okay, now the image is much clearer.
I'm back to the computer. Can you hear me?
I still can't hear you.
Okay.
Oh my gosh. You guys. I think it's just my computer. I really do. Okay, so Michelle's not hearing music. Michelle, can you hear Rachel?
Hi, Michelle. Can you hear me?
Okay, let's try this. Testing, testing. I can hear you.
You can hear me now?
Yes.
Okay.
So it was my computer the whole time. Oh, okay.
Well, it's okay. I was cutting in and out. I don't know. My internet went, and then I tried the hotspot game, and that wasn't working. And it's just, oh boy.
One of those nights. Okay. All right.
Here we go.
Well, now we're ready. So, Rachel, you are like a very, like, to me, you are very like comfortable in conversations. Are you like, you don't struggle with small talk, right?
No, unless it's in Spanish.
Okay.
It is one of my very much big struggles of that. Like, I'm decent at presenting if I've prepared the material.
Yeah.
I could talk with 6-year-old kids all day long. You put me in front of parents, and we like there's no topic, there's nothing like structured, and then I struggle. But in English, no big deal.
Okay. See, yeah, I love talking in front of large groups, but I get really awkward and I say weird things that I overanalyze like 7 years later. I don't know. I need to grow in that
too.
Yeah.
I have this tendency to like overshare when I get going. And then I'm like, well, people probably didn't really need to know that about me. But at the end of the day, I just chalk it up as that's who I am and deal with it.
Yes. I am the queen of oversharing. But you know what? I think there is some like, there's some goodness to that because people like for the other people who also struggle with that, who are also oversharers, they're like, okay, you're my people. Like, it's okay. We're gonna do this. We're gonna do this together. Oh my goodness. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So back to school night. We want folks coming into the classroom. We want them to kind of get a lay of the land. We want them to feel a certain way when they leave. What is like when you're thinking of like, how do you want kids and families to feel after that first interaction? What comes to your mind first?
Like comfort.
Yeah.
And like approachability. Like I want my families to feel like if you need something, I want you to reach out. I want you to text, call, email. I want to hear from you. And I want people to feel that like I'm the person they can go, like that they don't have to be fearful of the school environment.
Yes. Yes. And I love that so much because like our families come to us from like all different types of lived experiences. And like, again, maybe they grew up in our community too. And like, and maybe they attended schools here and stuff, but like they have a perception of how school was for them or how school was for their kid last year. Right. So they're walking in and carrying all this with them. So yeah, I think there's so much.
Yeah. And I think like from the student perspective, especially at the elementary level when they're in our classrooms, in a self-contained classroom. I mean, 6 hours of their day, they're in our care, in our classrooms. Like, I want them to feel like, I guess maybe I want them to feel like it's their home, but I don't want them to fully treat it like it's their home.
Totally. Totally.
They want you to pick up on yourself, but also feel comfortable doing that.
Yes. That's true. And like, I think the vibe is so important. So you're like, okay, I really want I want kids and families alike to know that I'm approachable. I want kids and families alike to feel comfortable and safe and like, hey, this is my place. I belong here. So like, what are some things that you do or that you give even like on that first interaction? Are there like certain go-to things that you do or like distribute?
I've done, well, it's been.
Oh no. She's frozen. Or maybe it's my computer. Well, while she is frozen, I will share one tool. Well, I'll share a few tools and I'll put them in the comments here. So if you're joining us on Facebook or YouTube Live, you'll be able to like grab it right away. If you're following us on and watching on Twitter, you'll have to move over to a different platform, or you can just DM me and I'll send it to you. But this is a blog post where I have a few different templates, and I always put them on colorful paper. I don't know, like I love color. Oh, okay, you're back. Okay.
Yeah,
okay, fabulous. So I was just sharing one tool.
Okay, what are you talking about colorful paper?
I put on colorful paper all these templates, and I lay them out on student desks, or sometimes I'll put them on like a certain like station, like in the room. But sometimes it's helpful for me to put them on student desks. That way, when the like that desk is empty, then I know which families came and then I know which families still need that paper. But I put a few different templates, and one of them that is linked in the comments now is like a communication preferences sheet. And so I check in like we use so many apps in education. Like there's the Seesaw, there's the Remind app, there's the library code, there's all these different things. And it's just a lot. And so I try to put it all in one like package to hand to them. And one tip that I like have taken and held on to because it was so effective was I laminated one sheet with all the codes, all the names of the apps and everything, laminated it, and I put a magnet on the back. And that way families could take it and they can pop it somewhere magnetic at home. Maybe it's a fridge, maybe it's a cabinet, maybe it's whatever. And now they have it in one go-to spot and everything is there. So that was like one tool. That magnet really is a game changer.
I love that. Yeah, I ended up actually my last couple years in the classroom quit handing out as much at that like back to school night because I felt like parents would leave, and if they had multiple children, they've now got piles of papers and they're trying to figure out who did this come from, who did this go to, and I felt like I got better success in return on like student information forms when I send it home like the first or second day of school, because parents were a little bit more like, oh, I got to check their backpacks. Like,
Yeah.
Versus, oh my gosh, I just dropped off all these supplies and I might have a crying baby in my arms. And
yes. It's a lot. Sometimes those first nights are like chaos, right?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I
like that.
And I feel like, I don't know if your school was like this. I felt like the schools I taught in, every year we were approaching that like back to school night differently. Like, sometimes it's an ice cream social and a drop off. Other times it's a presentation. Other times, like, we never had consistent structures for even our parents to like understand what the goal of that night is.
Yeah. That's huge. Like what is the goal? Because if it is an ice cream social, it's like the interaction, right? Like it's the connection, it's the comfort and fun. And like, so we also have like, and we did the same thing. We kind of played around with a few different formats. So we had like the back to school night, either like the week that school started, or the week before. And then we would have later like a curriculum night. And then we were like giving, like, this is what you're going to learn in this grade. Like, this is what we're going to be doing. Like, here's like routines and expectations almost, right? So you're so right. Cause it really does go back to like, what is the purpose of the event? Like, cause the structure of that initial event, bringing everyone in, that changes like how we treat it and how we prep for it, right? All those things.
Yeah. It's probably not something we realistically, like, thinking about it, that we've really necessarily communicated clearly to parents. Like, what is our goal here? Like, we just want you to drop off your supplies and say hi?
Yeah.
Do we want to really kind of establish a relationship and a connection?
Yeah.
Do I want your students to meet other students? Like,
I
don't know. Maybe that's something we, as a school team, need to sit down and think about a little bit more.
Yeah, absolutely. And then anytime I like, and I think we've talked about this before, anytime like I go somewhere new and I'm like, I need to know the vibe, I need to know what I'm supposed to wear. Like sometimes I'll call somebody else in the group, like, what are you going to wear to this event? Because I'm thinking this, where's the parking situation? All of those things, like whether it's a social or like a presentation or whatever it is, like we have to be so upfront with families and say like, this is what I'm wearing. Like I always would say that, like, I'm going to wear like gym shoes and a dress, or like, I'm going to wear jeans and a t-shirt, because I wanted families to feel that same level of comfort of like, oh, okay, this is what she's wearing. This is the vibe. Like we can, we can roll up like this. And I think that's like, where's parking? And here's another cool tip too. To help families feel like they have like an insider scoop, that is such a great way to build a connection right off the bat before you even like meet face to face. If you give like an insider scoop, like, hey y'all, I would like get here 15 minutes early and park in that lot. That way, when the evening is over, you are right over by the exit, or like whatever kind of insight you can give. They feel like, oh, this teacher got my back. Like, oh, this teacher's thinking of me and my family and our needs, right? Like, and you're in.
Yeah. That just made me think of too, like the insider scoop, because I was thinking of making it clear to our families as well that like their other children are welcome too, that like you can bring your stroller in my classroom. Yes. I'm okay with that. Or your 17-year-old is welcome.
Yes. Yeah. Oh, I think you froze again. But yes, I love that idea. Like, hey, if grandma's in town, bring grandma too. Like the whole family's invited. Like this is an event for all of us. I think that's huge. And I always laugh because a lot of curriculum nights, like the messaging that we send to families is like, don't bring your kids. And I'm like, how are we saying we're a child-centered space and place, and then we're like, don't bring children here? It's so wild. I don't so I love that idea. Like bring the stroller in. Like absolutely. Like bring the younger kids, bring the older kids, bring grandma, whoever's in town, everyone's welcome. Are you back? Let's see. I think you might be frozen again. Well, let me share while we're glitching while we're having tech issues. Another thing that I will tend to share at these types of events is I will give, and I'll print it out, I'll post it on a screen, whatever, like depending on if it's a presentation or not. I will give families like 10 reasons why they should reach out to me. So like I have a template for that. And I think it's in that same blog post that's already linked. But there's a template that says like 10 reasons why to reach out to me. Number one, like you want to tell me something great about your kid? Great. Reach out to me. If you want to tell me that your kid's having an issue, tell me. Like that's a great reason to reach out to me. If you tell me, like if you can reach out to me if there is an after school club or program and you want your kid in it, but you don't know how to register them for, like call me and I'll help you through that. So I give them a list of 10 reasons, like 10 examples why. And I think that's a huge thing because again, as we serve families from all different like experiences with school themselves or with like how they utilize their previous teacher in the past, like I want them to know they can come to me. It's like that approachability that you were talking about. Like I want everyone to know, like I'm a resource. I'm here to help your family. I'm here to like get y'all connected. So I always give like 10 reasons why to reach out.
I like that. I think that sets the tone for your classroom, but also like helps, we, as much as we want to promote our entry areas and our offices to be as approachable and comfortable as possible, there's sometimes an invisible barrier that gets put up there. Sometimes it's the language-based, culture-based. Other times it's just, I don't like school and I don't want to go to the office because of my experiences. Yes. So, even if those parents feel comfortable calling you to say, my kid's sick, I can pass that on to the office.
Yes.
Like, thanks. I got it.
Yes, exactly. And so what you just said reminded me of another tool. And I'm going to share this tool in the comments here too. And this one is just one, I think I just posted recently. And it is how to like make reporting an absence really, really easy. So I'm going to find that link and I'm going to drop it here in the comments. But this is a great thing to print and have ready for that back to school night, because again, it's a tool they can take home. As a mom, nothing stresses me out. Like number one, mornings in the house during the school year are just nuts. Like I'm nuts. My kids are like, the morning is just chaos. And when the kid comes downstairs and says, Mom, I'm sick, I'm like, oh man, like my mind starts going through 1,000 things like childcare and I got to do this. And do you need a doctor's appointment? And now I got to, call off sick and like all these things. And then the last thing on my mind was like, wait, what's that phone number for the school that I have to call to report the absence? So like my mind goes through all these things. So I would suggest to everybody, whether you serve multilingual students, monolingual students, whoever, make a little card for them in multiple languages, something that says like, when your kid is sick or like to report an absence, call this number before this time. And that's it. And you put it in a few different languages, put a magnet on the back. And again, like now you have this, and explain it at teacher night, like read the teacher night. That way, like they're leaving with something like, this is going to help me. This is going to help my family this year. This is going to help keep me sane.
That also made me think of, in the classrooms I worked in, we had our own direct lines where you could, directly call. Now, I want to say it was stopped in the school day. It was sent you straight to voicemail. But okay. I would always tell parents, don't worry, like stress about figuring out my classroom phone number. Yeah. The office will send you to me. Call the office, and even if you can't say, if you can't, all you can say is, hello, Miss Anderson, get me there. Like that's all you needed to do.
That's huge. And then the other part of this too is like, if we are asking, like that is the one way to report an absence. And if I don't feel comfortable on the phone, either because of language or I have phone anxiety is a real thing. It is a real thing. And it happens a lot more with the younger generation, but it happens in every generation, everybody. It affects everybody. So if, again, one possible tool you might explore is writing a script. Write a script that kind of goes along with that tool, like call this number before this time and write out a script. Now, I've set it up a few different ways. Like I set it up as a big one where it has like a fill in the blank, it has the English, it has the Spanish, and these are like samples, they're just like templates. So you could take one of those tools and put it just right below that little card, and you could have it stretched out that way, and you could magnetize that. But like my two kids go to two different schools because of their age, and they have two different reporting systems. And so I'm like, oh my gosh, how am I going to remember this? And so for my son's school, I have to include a whole lot more information because it's a larger school. It's a high school. So I have to include ID number and like what my cell phone number is and my relationship to the child I'm calling, like all the things. So I'm like, all right, I'm going to script this out. It's kind of like the panic that happens to me when I go to the Starbucks and I start saying my order and I'm like, I'm going to say this wrong. I'm going to say this wrong. I need a little script. I need something to like. I would like
tell me what to order.
Yes, exactly.
Yes, I wanted a big one, but I said tall and got this one.
Yes. Oh my gosh! And my kids will change like their Starbucks orders all the time, and I'm like, I don't know what that means. I don't know any of these words. Write it down, and I will read it to the Starbucks drive-through person. It's awful.
Yeah,
so
yeah. That phone anxiety. I like that idea. And I can just picture that we've got kiddos who were in Mrs. Spina's class who still have that stuck on their refrigerators because they've got subsequent kids and people coming through of like, that's a keeper.
Yes. It's like one of my favorite, like, again, it's such a lifesaver for me as a mom. Like I make these for my own kids because I know my mornings are nuts. So that's a tool that I need for myself. So I like that. And then another thing too, like you could take anything can become a magnet, right? Like we just go to the craft store and get a little roll of magnet tape. Put like a little
my favorite thing to do was I used to collect like old magnets. One year our school gave them out for something. You don't even have to peel the sticker off. You can just put a piece of Scotch tape over it and it still works.
That's a good tip. I would have never known that.
So if anybody ever gives you, you know what, it's fair season, go start collecting all the little things from booths. People give you their business cards with magnets on them. Yeah. All you gotta do is Scotch tape it and it works. Beautiful. Or a big piece of like a packing tape.
Yeah.
Right across there. Save you a few dollars.
Oh my gosh. Oh, that's genius. That's genius. Because I was going to say another thing you could magnetize is just like your contact information. Another cool tip is when you have, like, if you're doing a curriculum night type of presentation and you have everyone sitting there listening to you, ask everyone, pull out your cell phone right now. And like make them do it. Like pull out your cell phone right now. Here is my number, like either to the classroom. Like I always gave out my cell phone number because that was the way to reach me easiest. And I felt comfortable, or you could use like a Google phone number, whatever. But to have everyone take out the cell phone and like program the number to the school or to the classroom or to you or whatever. That way everybody has it saved. That way they don't have to worry about finding it later and whatever. Like they have it ready to go.
And, and the reality of it is people aren't just going to like randomly call you throughout the night to be like, hey, Mrs. Spina, like, I just found your phone number. Like,
how's it going?
Use it for real things.
Yes. Yep. Absolutely. Absolutely. But again, it's that approachability, right? Like I'm here for y'all. Like we're a partner. Like we are going to be talking all school year long. Like it's just another way to form a good connection.
Yeah. It's definitely an overwhelming feeling. Like I always felt that as a teacher. Like I was so overwhelmed, and like that first night event, I'm trying to remember who the kids were that came through, and then who their parents were associated with them. And it was so hard. Like, did they walk in the next morning? Did I see you yesterday? I don't know.
Right. Were you here?
Remember, there's so much going on for all of us. Like,
yes.
I've seen where some schools will stagger their times to help kind of alleviate like a mad rush.
Mm-hmm.
But
that's nice.
I think we have to recognize that they're difficult for our families and ourselves.
Yes, it is. It's a lot. It's like a whole night, and then you're exhausted the next day. Like you need 3 extra coffees because it's never like on a week, right? It's like a Tuesday night. And so you got 3 more days to teach.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
You're like, oh my gosh. Let me share another good little tip. So we always talk about like elevating our languages and like celebrating our languages and highlighting all of our beautiful languages. If we have another language asset, like we should be showing that off. So I got like a little pack of these guys on Amazon. They're just like little safety pin, like little pins. And like if you have to wear a lanyard to work every day to like, that's, I'm a teacher, I work here. Put one of these things on your lanyard because this does a few things. Number one, it elevates languages, right? Which is great. Everyone should be doing that. But number two, it tells your families. So if I speak Polish and I and maybe it's I'm the biology teacher, whatever my role is. Now I just made a connection with that family because they also speak Polish and like, hey, this is cool. Oh, I didn't know you spoke Polish. Now we can communicate a little bit easier, right? So just grab a little pin or make one yourself. It doesn't have to be.
I love the button. I used to do, especially for like back to school nights, conferences.
Yep.
Just like an address label sticker and the shirt that's like hablo español,
Yes.
But I love the button.
Isn't that fun? And you can get them so cheap. Or like if I know some schools have like a maker space and they have like a button machine, like have the kids make a whole bunch and then like the teachers come and pick out their pins to wear for meet the teacher night. But again, it's just a nice way to like show off our linguistic assets, but also like make ourselves a little more accessible to families.
And to also include in those, like in the button process, the paraprofessionals, your office staff, your custodians, your lunchroom staff, like anybody we can think, like get everybody involved in
everybody. That's right. Absolutely. We've got first day today. Oh, that's so exciting.
I hope it went well, Natalia.
Yes. Oh, that's so fantastic. I want to share one more tool that I give to families at the beginning, maybe not the first night, but I give towards the beginning of the school year. I give a preferences sheet about birthdays. And I do this because I made the mistake for years and years and years. And it was such a misstep. And I'm like, oh my gosh. And like, it was like, like when you what do they say? When you know better, you do better, but I didn't know better. And so like birthdays or adoption days. I thought I was giving my kids, this was 3rd grade at the time. I thought I was giving them voice and choice about birthdays because I was like, oh, do you want us to sing to you? Do you want us to sing happy birthday or las mañanitas? And I would make the kids, like, yo, you get to choose. And then at the end of the day, this one kid comes up to me and said, Mrs. Spina, can you tell my teacher for next year to not, we don't acknowledge birthdays in that type of way in my family. And I was like, oh my gosh, like, so obvious, such an, and I just felt so silly. And so then I was like, all right, Carly, now you know better. Now you got to do better. And so then I was like, all right, let me ask, right? Let me ask, do y'all want to have your birthday acknowledged or adoption day acknowledged at school? Because some kids are like, no, thank you. And some families are like, no, thank you. And so I gave them like a preferences sheet that they could say like, no, thanks. We don't want that. Great. Now I know, right? And then I'll also give like a follow-up to like, so if the family says like, yeah, that's fine. I'll share like what I typically do for birthdays. But then I give my students like a little choice board. This is how I would like my birthday acknowledged, if at all. Maybe it's okay. Maybe it's not like against our beliefs, but I just don't like when people sing to me, like, yes, opt out of that. Like we want your special day to be your special day.
I mean, let's be real. Do you like it when you go to a restaurant on your birthday and somebody in your family says it's their birthday and now the entire restaurant staff is singing to you?
Yes.
Don't go to Texas Roadhouse. They'll make you sit on a saddle.
See? And some people are like, woohoo, this is great. And other people are like mortified, right? Like, what do I do?
I just wanted the free dessert.
Exactly. Where do I look? Do I look around? Do I sing too? Like, this is awkward.
But I feel like you pinpointed a few things tonight that we forget that we feel the same way as adults on a lot of things. Like, I don't really like making phone calls if I can avoid it.
Yeah.
I don't want to be sung happy birthday. I want to be able to, like, can I text you a quick question and that's how it is?
Yeah.
Can you just like say, hey, happy birthday, and that's it. That's all we did today. You acknowledge that I exist and I'm done.
Yeah, exactly. Just learning about what our preferences are and share, and being able to like share, like, oh, you actually care what we want or like what my style is, or what, what my personality is, or what we believe, or all of those things.
Yeah. We didn't. I know, I don't know if we've talked about this one on here because I didn't watch a couple of the earlier ones, like from the summer.
Yeah.
But it got me thinking about the snack conversation, which is a whole day in itself. And I know Michelle has a lot of good thoughts around that idea.
Yep.
But those are things too to think through communication at the beginning of the school year.
Yes. Absolutely.
But I think we could go down a real big snack rabbit hole.
We should. That should be a whole topic.
It is a whole topic.
It really is.
Snacks, food, water bottles, all that.
Yes. Oh man. So I think the final, because we're getting late. The final thing I want to share is for those families who didn't make it. Cool. Great. That's fine. We're busy. Yep. No big deal. Don't let anyone in your school say, or don't let your mindset like take over and say, oh, they're not involved, or, oh, they're not this, or they're not that. Like, people are busy, no big deal. Maybe I'll say like, okay, for those families, like maybe I know which families came and which didn't. Maybe I don't. But I want to follow up regardless of if they came, didn't come, and just say, hey, I'm Mrs. Spina. I'm so delighted to work with your child. I cannot wait for the fun we're going to have this year. I cannot wait to partner with you, and just leave a little joyful interaction of some sort, whether it's a text or there was one family, I only communicated with them via Twitter DM. That was their jam. So I was like, cool, I'll do that too. So find out what their preference is, and then just like sprinkle some love. I can't wait to work with you this year. I already love your kid.
Well, I think, in the last few years, I mean, I personally have gotten way more comfortable with the video side of things and recording little messages. And, I make recordings of myself. I did one this morning of a presentation. So, if teachers are comfortable, a quick little message that takes 30 seconds is going to brighten a kid's day.
Yes. It's such a game changer.
And how nice to refer back to that too, potentially. Like, you watch it when you receive it, and then as a family, maybe like right before you get on the bus for the first day of school, play it. Hey, remember, this is who your teacher's going to be.
Yes, exactly. This is what they look like. I love that. And that's something they can kind of hold on to and treasure and revisit. I love that. That's huge. Oh, I love this. Again, this is such a big topic. And y'all, if you're watching live or if you are catching us on a replay later on, if you have something that's tried and true that has worked really well as you serve families, and as you kind of set up those first interactions face to face at like a back to school night or a meet the teacher night, whatever it is, please share. We would love to like learn and grow and connect, and share, like build up each other's repertoire of thoughts and ideas and reflections, because that's what we're all about, right? We got to learn from each other and grow together.
I don't know. I got more thoughts spooling around, even though I know we were going to wrap it up. Like, I was just now thinking about the video thing, and how easy would it be to do a quick on our Twitter or Facebook page of like, here's how you get to the classrooms. We walk in this door and you go here. Yeah. And you turn here.
Yep.
Here's where the library is. Here's where the cafeteria is.
Yes. That's so huge. And it lowers the stress, right? It lowers the affective filter of anybody coming into the school. Like, have Like you could do a walkthrough. You don't even have to film yourself. Like you can be off camera and you're just walking through and showing, right? And kind of narrating like a YouTuber or a TikToker would. And then you send it or you post it on your Seesaw or whatever. We don't want to post those online for the world to see for safety purposes, but like let's share that. That's such a cool, easy
and again,
way.
Even like before conferences, like sometimes we come in the back to school night, and then by the time October, November comes, we haven't been back to the school, and you're like, wait, which kid is where? I don't know.
Exactly. That's huge. That's so big. And it's a great way. Again, like now I feel a little bit more prepared to walk into this huge school. Like maybe I'll come into the school maybe a few times all school year long. I'm not going to remember how to get to every class. Like even if, even if this school isn't new to me, because my kid was in that hallway last year. Now they're in this hallway. That's on a different side of the building. I don't know that part of the building. That's huge. I love that tip. Rachel, thank you so much for hanging with me tonight. This was, again, another wonderful.
Sorry about my internet.
Oh, no. Again, it was my sound that was messed up the whole time. Oh, my gosh. I'm such I always want to say I'm a techie person, and I try real hard, but there are some moments where I'm like, how do I turn off the flashlight of my cell phone? Right?
Like our generation is really good into Googling what to do.
That's right.
We don't really always know what to do, but I know where I go to find out what to do.
Exactly. That's right. Oh my goodness. All right, y'all. Well, thank you so much for tuning in. Again, if you're catching us on the replay, we'd love to hear your thoughts and ideas of how you make connections and just begin the year off strong with some great thoughts and ideas. So thank y'all for joining us today, and we will see you next week.
Bye.